Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from the Ice City in northeast China, this is HARBIN Live with your host, Tom Fay.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a special edition of HARBIN Live. This is the HARBIN Live Dollars and Cents edition. We've got an exciting show lined up for you. We've got two special guests, Robin, a financial guru, and Shaun, a consumer advocate. I'm sure that they will give you a lot of important information that you can use to help stretch that family dollar. But before we get to our guests, let's jump into the HARBIN Economic Report. The HARBIN Economic Report is brought to you by our friends at Tree Pizza. Boasting 3 locations in Harbin, Tree Pizza is ready to serve you without breaking the bank. Besides classic standbys like margarita, pepperoni, and Hawaiian, you can try my personal favorite, the kebab pizza. Oh, you're not in the mood for pizza? Try their wide variety of hot dogs, New York style, Coney style, Chicago style, or you can customize it. But don't forget, at Tree Pizza, every dog is a double dog. That's right, 2 juicy wieners stuffed in one bun with all the toppings you could ask for. When you're ready for a real American dining experience, stop by any one of their 3 locations, Hanguangjie by the train tracks, Haichungjie close to the Wencheng Qiao, or late night at Barcelo on Shuifu No. 3 Street. Or you can also find them on your favorite takeout app. Tree Pizza, we're all friends here. So, jumping into the HARBIN Economic Report, first I'd like to check my bank account balance.
Yeah!
So looking at my bank account balance right now, things are looking pretty darn good. Looks like I've got enough money right now to pay over a year's worth of rent. Not enough money to buy a Lexus, but I do have enough money to go to the supermarket and buy whatever I want. And thinking of that, I thought we could take a look at some of the prices at our local supermarket here in the Nangang area of Harbin. This is the JDL Mart. This is their weekly circular. Most of these prices are starting next week. Well, one thing that I noticed right here is with a VIP card, looks like kiwis are $2.98 for 500 grams. That's a pretty darn good deal. This is the season of kiwis. I'm sure you could get yourself a nice juicy kiwi if you stopped over there. Shrimp is also on sale from starting next week. Ooh, not a bad price. $15.90 for 500 grams. These look to be shrimp that have the shell still on them. So there you go.
Hooray!
Shrimp, $15.90 for 500 grams. Oh, yeah. What else do we have? Oh, 4 liters of soybean oil, $47.90 for 4 liters. Not a bad time to stock up, especially as the winter approaches. 99, just about 1 yuan for 500 grams of pumpkin. That's pretty exciting, you know. This is that time of year when people might start carving those pumpkins. $4.99 for all next week. Oh, actually starting today. $4.99 for chicken drumsticks. How can you say no to those, huh? That is really something right there. Ooh. Also this week, mackerel is $4.58 for 500 grams of mackerel. I might just stop down there and get myself some right now. Mackerel's a great fish. It freezes very well. A lot of these things are great for freezing. What else do we have here? Oh, yeah. $9.90 for toothbrushes. Looks like you get 2 in a package for $9.90. That's something that our guest from last week might be interested in. And, oh yeah, the alcohol wipes are $9.90 for a large bag. I think there are 80 wipes in the bag. So that is something that gets used a lot in our household, especially with a couple of pets. So that gives you a little idea of some prices around here right now. Pork. Ooh, it looks like pork shoulder. It's going for $27.90 for 500 grams. That's a fair price. Pork shoulder is great for making your own sausage. If you're into making sausage or you want to learn how to make sausage, I highly suggest that you get yourself some pork shoulder. Grind it up and start simple. Just a little bit of salt, pepper, and dried sage. You got yourself a breakfast sausage right there. Now you could go a little bit more wild. Add some fennel seeds and a little bit of dried red pepper. You got yourself an Italian sausage. Of course, the American Italian sausages. Lots of things going on here. Mustard greens, $3.38 for 500 grams. That's not bad. I am a big fan of mustard greens. I will admit to that. 15 eggs. Now, these are the fancy eggs. 15 eggs for $11.90. These are the fancy eggs right here. These are the nice ones. Now, generally speaking, you could get more than that if you go to your local greengrocer. But those are fancy eggs. Pretty nice. Strangely enough, it's not even pomelo season, but they have pomelos going for $6.90 each, which is quite the deal on pomelos. The pomelo season usually starts maybe in a month or two. So lots of good deals to be found here. Lots of great ways to stretch that family dollar. I know we're living in tough times these days. You know, it's never easy out there. Generic canned luncheon meat, 340 grams, $10.90. Quite the deal. So I hope that HARBIN economic report was helpful for you. I know it was quite helpful for me, and I feel more like a informed shopper when I go out to the supermarket. I know what to look for. That's it for the HARBIN economic report. Let's jump into our guests. Our first guest today is going to be Robin. So let's go to a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to Robin. HARBIN Live, Dollars and Cents Edition. Oh, and we're back. Welcome back to HARBIN Live, Dollars and Cents Edition. And we have got a special guest here. We've got a noted finance guru, Robin. So, Robin, it's come to my attention that you have made a discovery.
Yeah.
Tell us all about it.
So I've been doing a little research and talking to friends of mine and talking to some insiders, and I've been put onto this crazy new idea that I'd never heard of before, and I don't think anyone else has either. It's
A crazy idea in finance. Whoever?
Yeah, it's called money. So it's this thing that you can use in exchange for items. So instead of having to trade one of your items for one of someone else's items, you can just use the money and use that to exchange for every type of item.
Hold on. Now wait. Is this like some kind of trademarked thing? Like, is it the new crypto coin or something that you're talking about?
I believe so. I think every country has to do it themselves. So like different, maybe I've heard in some foreign countries they've already been on this boat for a while, but like in where we are, I've never seen it before. So it's a brand new, and I think it's going to revolutionize the market. Really, like completely revolutionize the market.
Okay, well then, to me, I already know something called money, but maybe what you're talking about is something different. So maybe can you explain how this works?
Yeah. So the way that money works is you have some paper, usually paper. It could be some other item that everyone has agreed will have the same value, regardless of what you're trying to buy. So before, say you wanted to buy a slab of beef.
Okay.
And you had some potatoes.
Sure.
And you could give maybe, 2 sacks of potatoes for 1 large slab of beef.
Right. They call that the barter system.
Yeah. That's the way everybody trades. You trade things. And
I don't think so. People have been using, well, you call it money, but I think other people might call it currency. People have been using currency for a long time now to buy things. I mean, just now earlier in the HARBIN economic report, we were looking at the circular, and here, for example, we could show the audience here. We already talked about this. They have these shrimp, and it has this number.
Yeah.
1590 for 500 grams of
shrimp. So you can get 500 grams of shrimp for 15 or 16, depending on the quality, steaks.
16 steaks.
Yeah.
For 500 grams of shrimp.
Well, maybe it's 16 grams of steak. You have to talk to the person. Every interaction will be slightly different.
But here they're saying, here they have these kiwis.
So I usually trade oranges.
For 500 grams.
I usually trade oranges for kiwis, so I think that's probably 500 grams of kiwis for 2 oranges.
But they say 2.98.
Yeah, well, they like to make it sound better.
But this is what you thought before, but now you do know that they're talking about money here.
No, I don't think so. This is a completely new system.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's going to revolutionize the way markets work. In the future, you can use one money to buy something, and say like I said, you had 2 sacks of potatoes and you get 1 slab of beef.
Right.
Well, then in the future, if you buy each sack of potatoes with 1 money, then you can use 2 monies to buy the slab of beef. So the money can be used for anything you want to use it for.
Yeah, but I think they already did. For example, here, I have some different monies.
Yeah, so like I said,
this is 1,000 monies.
I've heard some other countries have gotten in on this, early adopters.
Have you seen this
one
before?
No, I've never seen this one before. I know you're a well-traveled man, so perhaps you've encountered this in some foreign lands. But I think this is quite a strange new idea for the locals here.
Well, do you have any of this money?
No, I haven't been able to get my hands on any yet.
Oh.
Yeah, it's still in the very early beta testing stages.
What do you think here's a question for you. When you finally get your hands on some money,
yes,
what do you think you will do with it?
Well, I'd like to go buy a steak dinner. Best option.
Now, is this at the restaurant, or you would buy the raw materials and make it yourself?
No, I would go to a restaurant and buy a steak dinner. I'd like to get a steak dinner with maybe a salad and a Coca-Cola.
Have you been to a restaurant before?
Yes, I have been to a few restaurants.
Okay.
Usually you bring your food in and then they cook it for you and then they give you they give you your meal.
But what do they get out of that? Don't they need to make some kind of profit? Are you familiar with
Yeah, well,
this
they
idea?
usually keep a bit for themselves.
Ah, okay.
You know, say you bring in 1 pound of potatoes, you only need 1 serving. They can keep the rest of it.
Okay. Well, Robin, I'm happy that you made that discovery. I think maybe
Well,
you're on the same level as the rest of us. I think.
No, I'm just happy to share it with everybody. You know, I'm sure everybody's going to be really excited about this new money thing. It's really going to revolutionize the market, like I said.
Well, Robin, I really appreciate what you had to share today, and thank you for your discoveries. And if you have any more discoveries, you know where to come.
Yeah, you're the first stop for any new discoveries I've discovered. And thanks so much for having me on. It's always a pleasure being here.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you. Let's give one for Robin. What about the tooth fairy? What did the tooth fairy give you when you were a teeny?
$15 is not that much to pay for a cab ride from my home to your home.
And we're back. Welcome back to HARBIN Live, Dollars and Cents Edition. And we've got another special guest here. We've got Shaun, who's a consumer advocate.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that's enough. Thank you.
Right, so Shaun, you are here to give us some nutrition tips.
Yes, I am, Tom, and I want to thank you for having me on your program. I enjoyed your last episode very much. And to start off about nutrition, I'd like to ask you a question. Where do you get your fresh produce?
Well, generally, I might go to my local green grocer.
So, would this be an outdoor market of some sort?
Occasionally, in the summertime, I like outdoor markets because there's just more of an atmosphere happening and a lot of noise, and the vegetables look so fresh and beautiful.
Okay, well, you are wrong on 2 counts. First of all, fresh produce is generally quite disgusting. It's covered in all kinds of bacteria, E. coli, and the outdoor markets I've found are quite disgusting as well.
Wait, just sure, fresh vegetables are covered in E. coli and things, but aren't people asked to wash their vegetables?
I don't think we can be trusted to wash our vegetables properly with all the crap we have pouring into our water. So, what I'd like to say is that your idea of getting your nutrition from fresh produce is really not something we need to worry about in this day and age anymore. So, my good friends at AgriLive Foods Group have created this energy drink here, which would basically give you all of the vitamins and nutrition that you would get out of a boring salad or, say, a leek potato soup. I've seen his videos, people. But also adds some extra nutrition. Now, I would like, if you may, to have try a sip as well as our financial expert here. I've prepared some for you. And just tell me what you think. You may find a burst of energy, vitamins, and other nutritional aspects, which I am not cleared to inform you about.
I've heard that some of these energy drinks that they have these days can be kind of dangerous. Don't they put some kinds of there's some additives in these things, and some of them have way too much caffeine. You know, they're driving the kids these days, to jump out the windows and stuff.
We're all adults here, aren't we? So bottoms
It's a
up.
family show.
So let's decide. We'll let you decide how you feel about this after you've given it a try. Okay, bottoms up, everyone. Now you may notice an instant euphoria. Now, is this your first time trying one of these energy sodas? Is this your first time?
I can taste
sir?
the nutrition.
Yeah. That's something.
Now, if this is your first time, I fear I may have given you a bit too much. You may note some dizziness or loss of motor functions.
I think we'll be okay.
I hope so. Okay. So moving on, I suppose, right?
So now you're saying one can of this has the same nutritional equivalent.
Okay. Yes, it does have
as a salad, right?
As a salad, a bowl of pasta, perhaps a turkey dinner. Take that all, put it into a blender, condense it all into an energy soda, and this is what you've just had, sir.
Oh, well, happy Thanksgiving to you too.
And okay, and thank you to the good folks at AgriLife for creating such a wonderful product.
Right. So I hear that you also have some energy tips.
Well, in addition to the energy that I've just provided you, yes, I do have some energy tips. Now, the cost of heating one's home is just going up and up and up and up and up and up.
I know that. How much is it for what are you saying the average price of heating a family home these days is?
The average consumer where we are at the moment is spending approximately 3,000 monies, just to make you understand, to heat their home this winter. And really, with the uncertainty going on in the world today, you may as well be throwing that money directly into the fireplace. Which brings me to my next point.
That's how people used to
heat their homes?
Yeah.
With money? With heat. Fire. Heat from the fire.
Fire thing.
Fireplace.
Now,
I've always heated my home.
Sure. Well, it is often the case that you can build a small fire in your living... A small fire. Not a large one, a small one. Let's keep it safe, everybody. In your living room or next to the bed where you or maybe your children sleep at night.
You rock!
And this can cut costs significantly. Well, with the big energy crunch we're facing...
in the fireplace?
No, just on a floor. You can build, you can use some old clothes, some old rags, that you can soak them in oil or some other type of incendiary liquid to get things rolling, and just throw some firewood or anything you really pick up off the ground. Plastic is okay too. Old furniture, it doesn't really matter. The important thing is that you're not paying for it. So while you can do that, this winter with the energy crunch that we're facing, I believe we can take things a step further. Now, think about it if you will. What is the coldest country in the world besides Antarctica?
Iceland, because it has the word ice in it. It's a land made of ice.
Right? Well,
it's like a big
that's
place.
not a country.
I always thought it was Columbia.
That is a country, but you're a little bit off on that. Now, what I'm referring to is our neighbors to the north, Mother Russia. You know, that country, right? It's very, very cold there. And you may remember, I'm going to give you a little history lesson here, that before going on long space flights in the 1950s, the Russian astronauts, well, I believe they call them communauts, something like that. Back in the 1950s, on their long space flights, they would drink vodka to keep themselves warm. Because everybody knows that alcohol raises your core body temperature. That's right. Now, to take this a step further again...
That's why they call it fire water.
Right, exactly. We live in the space age, however, and the good folks at AgriLife Foods Group have created their own special blend of grain alcohol spirit, which is also infused with Similar to our energy soda that we just had, some special vitamins and additives which not only raise your core temperature but provide an extra layer of insulation on those long cold nights, which this year I think we're all going to need. Thank you. It's a good product. Good product.
Now, I've got a question. What happens if you mix the energy drink with the Astra drink?
I do not recommend doing that, and in fact, I don't recommend having any amount of this grain alcohol spirit until it is time for bed. It will put you into a deep sleep. You do not need to cross the effects of these two products. It could be fatal. I do not recommend it.
Now, you gave us some tips about saving on your electricity bill, but what about on the transportation? Getting around these days, it's I'll tell you, it's a real pain in the tail to get from one place to another these days.
With the energy costs going up, so goes transportation. Am I right, people? So, what's happening right now is it's too cold to take a bike anywhere. Ice is forming all over the place. I don't recommend walking absolutely anywhere. And although energy costs are going up, don't let them rip you off when you take a taxi these days. So let's say, for example, you're on a night on the town, maybe with some AgriLive brand grain alcohol spirit, and you hail a taxi, and you discover that you have one of these fat cat cab drivers with the little clicker thing, and he's running the meter up and up and up and up and up while you're sitting there in the back of the cab. Well, if you take notice to this, and you should always be aware when you're in the back of a taxi, whether your driver is one of these fat cat types, you have two options. Well, if you have a Chinese spouse, or somebody, a trusted friend, who can help you out with this situation, that's step one, but who needs to hear more nagging over the telephone? I have enough of that at home.
Don't we all?
This is nothing against all cab drivers, however. I'd like to point out, I was a cab driver myself at one point.
Did you have one of those fat cat clicker machines?
Let's not discuss how I lost my job. Well, you know what? Let's discuss it.
All right.
I had to give it up. Now, the reason I had to give it up is I had a feeling that people were talking about me behind my back. That's a joke I looked up on the internet before I came on to this show today. Thank you. Thank you. Well, a good thing, though, that you can do if your wife, say, doesn't answer the phone, or you'd just rather not hear that incessant nagging voice when you come home for bothering her later at night, you can run away from the taxi. Maybe it's not legal, but you can do that, and it will save you cash during this very cold energy crunch season.
Now, are you advocating that people take a taxi and then when it's time to pay the fare, they run out the door?
I'm advocating that people run, simply, as a mode of transportation to get away from the taxi or just to get home. The taxi will take you as far as he decides before he starts getting dishonest. And so when doing so, though, you may be a little bit too slow, slip on some ice, and you may catch a good old-fashioned beating. Now, if this is the case, I recommend some AgriLive grain alcohol spirit to clean your wounds. And, in fact...
Wow, now this is a useful product. It does a little bit of everything.
Absolutely.
There,
it cleans and it insulates and heats.
Nutritious.
Fortified with vitamins.
It also keeps your core temperature up.
Absolutely, as alcohol does.
And also as a...
Ooh, you suck!
It's a mood enhancer as well.
Mood enhancer and sleep aid.
And an antiseptic.
And an antiseptic, yeah.
Absolutely.
Disinfectant.
In fact,
we talked about that. I think I talked about that with my guests in the last week.
Oh, I believe so. Yeah, that's right. Oh, it may have been that dental hygienist.
I know he was a health guru.
Oh, a health guru.
Yeah,
sure.
Robin.
Yeah, he had a lot of good tips on for dental health. if I remember correctly.
Tooth health.
Well, you're going to need all the health you can get with these vegan recipes you keep cooking. By the way, just another joke, if I may. Well, do you mind if I tell a vegan joke? Is that okay?
I think my audience would. That's okay. Let's let the audience decide.
Okay, let's go.
Sounds
go.
They sound like they're okay with that.
So, let me start again. Can I tell you a vegan joke? I promise it won't be cheesy. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Nice. Well, Shaun, you gave us a lot of things for us to take into consideration.
I'm just trying to save you all some money.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much. I cannot shake your hand. I'm sorry. And I also think that you may want to seek some medical attention after the amount of vitamins you've just consumed.
Okay. Well, and for that, let's give a big hand for our old friend Shaun.
Thank you. Thank you.